If you want to know the real truth, then watch this video, otherwise don't. From A Call for an Uprising, and the thumbnail was pizza, so I think we all know where this is going.
Ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in?
Random guy 2324 real has a link. Hold on. Ask Compu. What makes a cage specifically a human cage? That's what I want to know. Thanksgiving with Ben Shapiro.
But you couldn't figure out just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality.
It's
since
made
the
of people!
But not anymore.
A people cage,
because
yeah,
there is
sure.
an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is A Call for an Uprising.
This is A Call for an Uprising. Welcome to today's show. Today I want to talk about a topic that most people do know about. I've covered it before, but I don't have a specific video on it. But it's important for everybody to understand just why the things that are happening to children are happening to children and how they're going to start normalizing this.
Oh no, is he gonna bring up the stupid Adrenachrome thing? Hey, I read a thing about this, actually, where a chemist was talking about the stupid QAnon stuff, and the, idea that, like, Satanists and, like, celebrities and all these people are, like, stealing Adrenachrome from children, and the chemist was basically like, this is what Adrenachrome is. I could make this in a lab really easily. If you needed Adrenachrome for some reason, which you probably don't want as a recreational drug, it's awful, apparently. It makes you paranoid and freaked out and scared, so it's not something anyone would want. But also, if you do want it, you would synthesize it, like a lot of things. You wouldn't get it out of someone's brain.
Now, we've heard from all these cases that have happened with children, from McMartin to, to you name the case. It always ends up with a story about drinking blood, drinking a child's blood, drinking the blood of animals.
No, a call for an uprising might see this, by the way, because my last video I did on him, he commented on. I think he's very mad at me, which is fine. That's cool. Don't say bullshit then, I guess, if you don't want people to call you out on it. If you're gonna claim that there are people who are, like, drinking blood of children in particular, you should probably cite some sources and not just say it.
The reason for this isn't so much that they love the taste of it, although I'm sure these sick freaks do.
That's speculation at best. Even if there were secret cabals of Satanists who were drinking blood of human beings without their consent, why would you assume they liked it? There's probably some other reason they'd be doing it. But again, that's not happening, so maybe stop pontificating on things you haven't proven to be true in the first place.
The reason behind it is that they get a high from drinking the blood, and that is from what is known as
You don't get high from drinking a human's blood. There are people who do drink the blood of other human beings. There was like a My Strange Addiction episode all about this. There's this woman who consensually, which is the important part here, who consensually gets blood from friends. She has them tested for, like, hepatitis and other things. Still not good for you. Don't drink the blood of other people for a variety of reasons, up to and including ick. That's gross. But there are people who do drink blood. It doesn't get you high at all.
Drinochrome, and it's a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline.
Let's see. Adrenachrome. Adrenachrome is a chemical compound with a molecular formula C9H9NO3 produced by the oxidation of adrenaline. The derivative, oh boy, Carbazochrome is a homeostatic medication. Despite a similarity in chemical names, it is unrelated to chrome or chromium. In vivo, adrenochrome is synthesized by the oxidation of epinephrine. So all you would need to do is to oxidate epinephrine. I'm pretty sure epinephrine is what's in, like, EpiPens, right? In vitro, silver oxide is used as an oxidation agent. In solution, adrenochrome is pink, and further oxidation of the compound causes it to polymerize into brown or black melanin compounds. So if you were, let's say, these people like to talk about Hillary Clinton. So let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Let's say you're Hillary Clinton, and you want an adrenochrome hit for some reason. It's awful. I'm pretty sure it's one of the things Johnny Depp takes in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Right? You would be able to pay chemists to make this for you synthetically much more easily than having to kidnap children. Like, why would you go to the expense, criminality, and danger, not to mention the immorality, of stealing children to take a chemical from their brain when you could just synthesize it easily? What would the point be?
In the blood.
There's nothing funny about the
Now, this for them is...
Bellstar says epinephrine plus CrO3 equals adrenochrome. Logarth says ephedrine used to be commonly sold over the counter as whites, which are wake-up pills. It's super cheap and easy to make. It was like $5 for 110 milligram pills. The Ender 92 says, yeah, but it doesn't have that sweet, sweet taste of child sadness. Honestly, that's what he's gonna say. If he sees this video, he's gonna be like, well, they're evil, though, so they want it from children. Like, what? What? No one, and I mean this, no one in the history of human beings has had the motivation of, it's evil, though, yay! Even people like Adolf Hitler, his motivation in his head wasn't, I'm evil, I'm gonna do this because I'm evil. Like, he was just a psycho, right? Who thought that, like, exterminating groups of people would help him politically and help his country. He's wrong, and I would argue he's evil for doing so, but people never do things just because they think it's the evil thing to do.
Is like the elixir, like the magic potion. They believe that through drinking this that they get youth and more youthful through drinking the blood of a child. They believe that it will help them look better, live longer, and they also get a high.
There's no evidence that that happens. It doesn't even make sense as a conspiracy. Adrenochrome doesn't do that. It just is a drug. It does not make you younger. It doesn't extend your life. It doesn't do any of that.
That unlike any high, apparently, that any normal drug...
Maybe Trump? No. See, here's the thing, too. I agree that a lot of the things Trump do are evil, but he doesn't think to himself. He doesn't get up in the morning and go, I'm gonna be an evil person today. He's just a selfish narcissist, right?
Would give somebody something like 10 times as crazy as LSD would be. A trip like that, where these people completely get euphoria, derealization.
Let's look at adrenochrome again to see what the effects of it, if you use it recreationally, are. Adrenochrome effects. The truth about adrenochrome. If you spent much time online lately, like everyone else in lockdown, you've probably fallen down some strange COVID-19 rabbit holes. One word you might have seen is adrenochrome. It's popular with conspiracy set. It makes you young or high or part of a satanic tribute. Before you become hypnotized by swaths of Facebook comment threads, you should know how it got its magical status. Where have I heard of adrenochrome? Aldous Huxley's 1954 essay, The Doors of Perception, written mostly about his experience with mescaline, discusses the possibility that adrenochrome is a compound with similar effects to the psychedelic cactus. He has not taken it and doesn't know how one would obtain it, saying just that it's spontaneously produced by the human body. He describes it as, quote, a product of the decomposition of adrenaline, end quote, which is surprisingly correct. the Ender 92 with 10 bits. If drinking children's blood did this, then addicts would be kidnapping kids left and right to drink their blood. And, like, if it made you high to drink children's blood, children would be high all the time because it would be their blood, right? Epinephrine was actually abusable if you took it like it was speed. It made you wired, highly attentive, sexually active. It was big in club scenes as an upper along with poppers, but then some baseball player abused it and almost died, so it got taken off shelves. Ephedrine, okay. There's a brief mention of Drinochrome in the 1962 novel A Clockwork Orange, where it's an optional addition to the cocktail, glass of milk, Moloko Plus, but probably the most cited use of the compound is Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It might be a novel, but many assume it was a real thing and that people really did. Thompson did not explain that adrenochrome buzz is great in great detail, but this probably isn't too far from his vision, and I'm assuming this was a link from the movie, the scene from the movie. It's important to anyone reading Fear and Loathing to remember that gonzo journalism, the writing style Thompson invented, is based around fictionalization and exaggeration of real-life events. In the DVD commentary on the 1998 Fear and Loathing adaptation, director Terry Gilliam said Thompson told him he made the whole adrenochrome thing up. Does adrenochrome exist at all? Yes, just like Huxley said, adrenochrome is a compound formed by the oxidation of adrenaline. Its main medical use is to slow blood loss by promoting clotting in open wounds. It's available for purchase online by researchers, with most outlets stating its source is synthetic and its uses are the inhibition of COMT, which deactivates certain neurotransmitters, and the synthesis of prostaglandins, fats involved with blood clotting. Logarth with a bit. Ephedrine was actually... No, that was a different thing. Did someone else do something? Oh, thank you, MLG 1977 for following. When asked for comment, the University of Auckland Neuropharmacology and Neuroscience Department said it wasn't on their radar. It's got a cool name and some medical purposes, but by and large, it's not a very exciting compound. Sorry. Is there a hallucinogenic... Having a real rough day. Is there a hallucinogenic drug called adrenochrome? In his 73 book, Legal Highs, Adam Gottlieb described adrenochrome as being, quote, physically stimulating and inducing, quote, a feeling of well-being, slight reduction of the thought processes. It's unknown whether he ever took the drug or if it was based on a hearsay. Legal Highs also contained entries on catnip and guarana, so the bar for a high was low. Guarana. I don't know what that is. Most reports of adrenochrome throughout literature sound a lot like DMT. It's very possible beatniks just gave DMT the cool name adrenochrome and the real compound got caught up in the mix. Why are people talking about it now? Adrenochrome is a popular topic in conspiracy circles. It's a drug of Hollywood elite. It's addictive. It's harvested from torturing children in satanic rituals, they reckon. The current strain of theory is that a huge amount of celebrities have come down with COVID-19 due to a tainted batch of adrenochrome. That's very stupid. Most celebrities classified as, quote, liberal Hollywood elites are American or British, two nations that have been struggling to manage the COVID-19 outbreak, so it's not hugely surprising that many have contracted the virus. Adrenochrome harvesting, according to the conspiracies, is done by drinking blood, heart surgery, or tapping into the brainstem. The adrenal glands are located above the kidneys, so that's probably where you really want to look. Why does anyone believe children are tortured or harvested for adrenochrome? The blame must land on Hunter S. Thompson. In Fear and Loathing, the character Dr. Gonzo says, there's only one source for this stuff, the adrenaline glands from a living human body. It's no good if you get it out of a corpse. You could also argue that this conspiracy is weirdly similar to the plot of the film Monsters, Inc., and maybe that's all part of the cultural background, making this theory seem reasonable to some. Does adrenochrome have anything to do with COVID-19? No. I like that that's simple. Are you the mainstream media lying to us about this? Also, no. So, yeah. Total bullshit. You can synthesize it, friendo. You wouldn't need to, like, get it from children.
You know, thought disorder. And again, when they do this at these rituals that they have, when they all get together and they perform these rituals, a lot of the times...
Do you have any evidence that these rituals have ever happened? Call for an uprising? No? Okay. So maybe stop talking out of your back end.
They'll already be high on this, and this is just another way for them in their own...
Also, If you're rich, if you're Hillary Clinton rich, why you'd use an Adrenachrome? There are better drugs. There are easier to get drugs. Why would you get this drug? That there are better things to use to get those same results. It doesn't make any sense.
Own mind. They don't even...
Like coke. Get some cocaine. You're rich. Get a whole bunch of cocaine.
remember doing some of these acts on children. They forget, but they do it. And this has been documented before. And I'm going to show you a clip from the movie Fear and Loathing
Oh god, he's literally gonna do the thing.
in Las Vegas. Now, this is a movie starring Johnny Depp about
I'm
Hunter
gonna have
S.
to skip
Thompson.
over it for DMCA reasons.
Hunter S. Thompson, as I've covered many times, close friend with Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp. Guy was a millionaire who's, you know, anytime you could see an interview with him, you could see him drinking, doing drugs. But in this movie, the character tries Adrenachrome. And you could see...
It's a movie.
I've cut it up. You can see him. You'll see his reaction as he puts a little bit on his tongue because you don't need a lot of this. And this is from the blood.
I usually get my knowledge of how the world works from Johnny Depp movies. It's why I know I should never step foot in the ocean, lest the, oh god, what's his name? Lest Davy Jones come for my soul.
Blood of a child. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a child, but remember what I told you about Aleister Crowley and how he talks about the blood sacrifice and how it's important to come from a child, specifically a young male.
Why?
And you'll see him and the guy in the room tripping on it. You'll see, of course, they have the black and white Masonic esoteric nonsense, you know, the checkerboard on the wall. What a surprise, right? What a coincidence that that's there during this scene. And this is more of them revealing themselves. But you'll see him get high on it, and you'll see him talk about how this is from a human body. This is a real thing.
No, it's not. If anyone has taken Adrenachrome for any reason, whether it's medical or otherwise, it's been synthetically made. Like they said in one of the articles we read, it's sometimes used for blood clotting. If someone is getting Adrenachrome for blood clotting, it's not being pulled out of someone's brain. It's been synthetically produced like most medications. Antipodian Squid with 50 bits. Just get yourself a jar of dirt, Hannah. You'll be fine.
And you're also going to see him say, where did you get it from? And he mentions that he got it from a Satanist.
Again, it's a movie, and it's based on the writings of Hunter S. Thompson, which, frankly, oh boy, how do I put this? Hunter S. Thompson is a reporter, but he's known to exaggerate, let's say.
A Satanist who was convicted of abusing children, right? So you think these things are a coincidence? Of course they're not. Now, Hunter S. Thompson even went on to say things such as the adrenal glands from a living human body, it's no good if you get it out of a corpse. So what they do is they put these children through trauma-based mind control. They'll dress up, they'll scare them, they'll abuse them, they'll taser them, they'll lock them inside of cages. This is what they do to children, these monsters, these sick, disgusting freaks. They do this stuff to children so that the children are put through so much trauma.
Again, none of this is happening. You would need to evidence that this is happening. Posts on 4chan are not evidence that something is happening. Dr. Gamble says, just got back from dinner. I got to stop walking in midway stream on Tinfoil Tuesday.
That when they commit the sacrifice, the adrenal...
The hilarious thing is true, and yeah, someone in the chat brings this up. Like, there are actual children in cages. They're at the border. They've been separated from their families. But that's not what you choose to focus on. Instead, you make up this crazy conspiracy that you heard on 4chan or 8chan or whatever. And you're like, yes, this is the real conspiracy. Idiots.
The adrenaline, excuse me, from their glands is giving off a high amount of this substance so that they can get even higher off of it, because the more trauma that the person's put through, the more effect that this drug is going to have on.
Source? You can't just say stuff like that. Please, I'd love to see the study you have that shows And I know you're not going to find this study because it doesn't exist. So I guess you shouldn't say this. Please find me the study where scientists have done a control group of children who haven't been tortured, and then they take chemicals out of their brain, and then people who have tortured children, then they take chemicals out of that kid's brain, and they compare the adrenachrome in each. Oh, that study doesn't exist? Guess you're talking out of your ass, then.
On them, and the more euphoria that they're going to feel. So take a look at this clip.
Nope. Can't play the movie clip.
It's like, oh yeah, like, you know, just like Johnny Depp in the movie Blow, and it was like glorifying, you know, the drug game and dealing drugs and doing drugs and stuff like this. This is what's next to come, is with this Adrenachrome. And you can even see that there's a movie trailer out, you know, about these people who are on it, and they're just tripping, and they're Satanists, and they're murdering people, right? I mean,
it's the Lizard Man clip. I'm trying to see what it looks like. He's got, it's like this checker wall thing. It's not the lizard people.
Like, you know, just like Johnny Depp in the movie.
Antipodian squid with 50 bits. These Satanist monsters, according to this theory, end quote. Yeah, this theory made up on 4chan. Have you been to 4chan? Oh, ye gentlemen of such high moral standing? Because there be monsters. Yeah, 4chan's awful. 4chan is the worst.
Movie Blow, and it was like glorifying, you know, the drug game and dealing drugs and doing drugs and stuff like this. This is what's next to come, is with this Adrenachrome. And you can even see that there's a movie trailer out, you know, about these people who are on it, and they're just tripping, and they're Satanists, and they're murdering people, right? I mean, connect all the dots with the stuff that they show us with the Purge.
I saw a movie trailer recently that showed Batman and the Justice League getting ready for Darkseid to come and invade. So I'm very concerned about that. Oh, we shouldn't take movie trailers to be factual in terms of reality? Nah, that can't be it.
Okay, and then think about how they've disguised, you know, drugs, and people automatically, when they hear about drugs and narcotics, they think of meth and coke and all that kind of stuff. But nobody's ever heard of this drug before. You know why? Because this is the big secret.
Because it sucks. Because there are better drugs to get high on. Do cocaine. Do mushrooms. Do LSD. Heck, get some real good weed. Why would anyone choose to do Adrenachrome when there are so many better options if you just want to get high?
This is what the elites are into. This is what your politicians, your celebrities, your CEOs of corporations, this is what they're into. They receive energy from this. They do this while performing black magic rituals.
Wait, do you believe in magic, a call for an uprising? Be honest, do you believe in magic? In a young girl's heart? How the music can free her whenever it starts? Because that's pretty sad. I don't know how to tell you this either, but there's no oh, I don't know if there are kids watching. I guess I shouldn't say this, because sometimes Sushi Mom plays this in front of her kids. So I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Needless to say, it involves Santa. Daddy Sume, obviously, he has Baphomet in his opening sequence.
And they don't care that it comes at the expense of a child. They don't care about that at all, because they're not human. These people are not human. And all that they want is everlasting life on earth, which they're not going to get. You see, they believe that they can defy God, and that they're going to win on Judgment Day, and that what matters most is what we do here on this earth.
Oh no, the horror of living every day like this is the day that matters, and like you aren't being cosmically tested by a sky daddy. What horror.
We know what happens here. This is, you know, this isn't the life that we're all living for. People like me, I'm just trying to help wake people up who are lost, because...
No, bud. You're trying to convince people of crazy conspiracy theories made on 4chan and trying to make yourself feel like you aren't wasting your life. Hate to break it to you, but every second you spend putting videos on this channel about absolute BS like this, you are not only wasting your time, but you are actively harming others by spreading lies.
because we're in the toughest time period to be alive because the mind control is
Daddy Sume says, I am Sky Daddy now. You will only refer to me as Sky Daddy. I don't think so.
so insanely deep that so many people are being led astray and led away from Jesus Christ, who is the only way to salvation.
Gonna need a source on that one.
You know, the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ, but everybody's misled by all of this through mind control. But these people don't care. These people want to live longer. Think about the agendas they push on TV, right? Transhumanism, right? Never dying, living.
Transhumanism? I don't think I've ever seen a show that's like, you know what? We should cut off our arms and make them robot arms. That'd be great. What?
Longer. That's why you always see them pushing amputees. It's preparing people.
No, he literally means the facetious thing that I just said. Okay. Odd. But here we are.
Right? Oh, a metal leg or your metal arm and superheroes and transhumanism.
Okay. People who have, like, prosthetic legs or arms or whatever have them because they were either in an accident, unfortunately, or because they were born without said limb. Right? These people did not chop off their body parts. Not the case.
Is getting everybody prepared for this type of mindset, right? And then, of course, the mindset that they have to never age. I mean, look at some of these people in Hollywood. Has anyone seen Wayne Newton recently? I mean,
that's a weird, out of all the people to pick, Wayne Newton. I hate to break it to you, but he has aged. Let's see, here's a younger Wayne Newton. And then here's like a Wayne Newton today. He's aged terribly. He's just had like plastic surgery and Botox. What are you talking about? This isn't Adrenachrome. This is plastic surgery. Which, hey, that's his right. He's allowed to get whatever surgery he wants. I don't care.
I mean, the guy looks like he got, run over a few times and smashed in the face with a bat.
That's probably the Botox.
And this guy thinks he looks good. But these people get, Botox and all these things done to themselves because they don't want to age. But this is one of the...
Wait, if they were using Adrenachrome and you claim that Adrenachrome makes you live forever and have eternal youth, why would he need Botox? Have some internal consistency in your bullshit. It's not Adrenachrome, it's silicone. Alright, that's good, that's good. Look at pictures of Hunter shortly before his suicide. He aged terribly, yeah.
Secrets that they use. And it's a...
Hunter S. Thompson. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Older Hunter S. Thompson, younger Hunter S. Thompson. Boy, look at the difference. It's almost like human beings age no matter what. Weird.
Important for people to know this. I know it's hard to hear. Trust me, I know it's hard to stomach.
It's not that it's hard to hear, it's that you offer no evidence that it's true. It's that you're spouting nonsense from 4chan because your life is so empty that you feel the need to fill it with something that you feel makes you, I'm important. I'm telling people the truth about these Hollywood satanic elite. No, not the case. This is all untrue. Please, stop. And find something else to focus your life on that means something more than this.
I try not to go too deep into this topic when I talk about the kidnappings and the abuse because it's too heartbreaking to talk about.
Or because it's so crazy that everyone will go, wait a minute, this is silly, this is untrue, do you have any evidence this is true? No? Oh, this is nuts.
Knowing that this is what they do it for. Because people just automatically think that this is just about some type of sexual perversion, and it's not. Now, do they do these acts? Yeah, these sexual acts, of course they do. They do those things, as a part of sex magic and the black magic.
There's no such thing as sex magic
that they perform. But the end game after all of that, they don't just say, oh, we're just going to, get rid of the kid because we just don't, what if the kid goes and tells on us? That's not the point. They put them through all of this trauma so that they can get the adrenochrome and they can get that drug and get that high that they so much want. So I can't, this is stuff that they're probably selling on the black market. This is one of the reasons, too, you see so many kidnappings and stuff like that, because it doesn't mean, that just like a raw...
There aren't that many kidnappings. I mean, there are kidnappings. How do I explain this? The vast majority of kidnappings are not stranger kidnappings where a kid gets picked up in a park by some random person. The vast majority of kidnappings are carried out by family members, often in situations where, like, one parent has custody and the other parent takes the kid and runs away with them. That's the vast majority of kidnappings. And when you take those out of the equation, there aren't that many stranger kidnappings. Baja Blast. Thank you.
Rothschild's going to grab a kid and go up into the mountains somewhere. There's low-level people who are providing this for other people. And this is really scary. And this is why this never gets talked about. But I'm sure this video probably will get a strike.
Oh God, I hope so.
Or probably get taken down. Because these are the types of truths that they don't want.
Oh God, he charges people $2.99 a month for his, his website. Oh no.
Out there. These are the things that matter most. Okay? Because, every day when we're, I'm talking about, other people are talking about it, you're talking about it.
Dr. Gamble says, Hannah, quit crushing my dreams of nymphomancy. Someone needs to come up with that D&D subclass. Nymphomancy.
There's different ways to wake people up, of course. You're not going to wake somebody up and just go, hey, have you heard about Adrenachrome? And they're going to go, oh, what is it?
Oh, then I guess you should provide evidence that any of this is true and just not spout off like a crazy conspiracy person.
Oh, well, they take a baby and then they do this
Daddy Sume, you honestly think I haven't?
to the baby and they put him through all this trauma and they taser him and then they kill him just so they can have this drug. I mean, everyone with their heads would explode. They wouldn't be able to grasp it. That's why I started, signs and symbols and repetition and showing people that stuff so they can start understanding. But people need to be aware of this. People need to realize this is why it's hush-hush. This is why on the news they're never going to talk about this stuff. They're never going to talk about what happens to these bodies and what they do to these children and this type of drug that they believe that they have, which, again, gives them this type of, euphoric, they drift into fantasy land. You could see Johnny Depp in that scene, how he was acting and how the other guy was acting.
The key word here is acting. It's a movie. It's a movie.
These are true accounts. The guy wasn't just writing his book going, hey, I'm going to make this thing up about an adrenaline gland in the brain.
I think that's actually literally what happened. It was Hunter S. Thompson. I think that's literally what happened, actually.
And, then they're going to get it from a Satanist and drink it. No, it's truth in plain sight. Okay? And then, of course, when he's asked about it, he's like, oh, no, we didn't really do that,
Okay, so the guy who wrote it literally said he made it up, and you're going, no, you didn't make it up. I think it's real. Do you see why I'm making fun of you?
No, of course he says that. But they're all doing it. They're all buddy-buddy, and this is their big secret. So share this video with people. Make people aware of this, that this is why they target children. And we need to get the word out just so more and more, parents are aware of this stuff so that they can keep a better eye on their children and who they're around. Because for me, this is about protecting the children.
No, it's not. It's about you feeling self-important and thinking you're the savior of these children. But instead of doing actual work with like a non-profit to help kids who've been exploited by child trafficking or whatever, instead you decide to be a keyboard warrior and start believing 4chan and 8chan posts by an anonymous poster and just whip people into a frenzy about this nonsense. Knock it off. Jeez.